How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV and welcome back to the warm-up. We've got Burnley away this Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. Another big Premier League fixture around the corner. Cecil, James back in the building. How are we feeling?
Yeah, a bit tired right now, but it's about the game. No, I'm feeling confident, obviously, off the back. We've beaten Norwich. For me, it was a lucky goal, in my opinion, but we got a win.
Was it a lucky win?
Was it a lucky win? Good question. I mean, people keep telling me
there was a lot of.
There was 30 shots. You know, we had 30 shots, 6 on target, but Aston Villa had 6 on target on the weekend. They lost. So stats to me mean nothing. I don't know if it was a lucky win, but it wasn't a convincing win. It was a win. Wasn't a win.
I heard that. Stats mean nothing. That.
Sorry, buddy. They tell a story, just not the full story. Stats.
Okay.
But yeah, man. I mean, we won. It's good going into this game against Burnley. I think this will be a completely different test for Arsenal. I'm a little bit worried, if I'm honest. I know we did win. I'm still a bit nervous about the opposition. Burnley are very physical and they get a lot of balls into the box, and I think they can bully our defenders. So I'm a bit nervous, but I expect us to get a win. Whether that'll happen, we'll see.
Some words there from Cecil. Tired, worried, nervous. James,
How are you feeling?
give us 3 words about how you're feeling.
Yeah, not too dissimilarly, to be honest.
No?
Cool.
No, rather than 3 words, I'll just ramble it off. I think this is a good. Norwich was exactly the home game we needed, wasn't it? A team that are lacking in confidence, haven't won, have barely scored a goal themselves because their first was a penalty.
When you're 20th, playing 19th is ideal.
That's, yeah, it's
not a
ideal.
better option,
If
is
you can
there?
pick anyone at the table, you're probably going to have 19.
Yeah.
But this is a good level up on that. And it will be a level up. This will be a tricky game, but one you'd still expect Arsenal to win.
Yeah, because where are we now, 16th?
Yeah.
You'd want to
we're
play someone
really-
below us, and Burnley happen to be.
We're flying now, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah,
We've got
lift
to go.
off.
Burnley
Lift
are
off, I heard from a lot of
18th,
people.
I think. Well, we'll look at
18th.
the table in a second.
Yeah, a couple of positions below us, but it's still going to be a difficult fixture. Last year we didn't get a W over them. Drawn 1, lost 1. Obviously Xhaka key in both fixtures. He won't be part of this one, which kind of results in a team that me personally I'm a lot more intrigued by. We saw Lokonga and Maitland-Niles start against Norwich. I'm expecting Partey to come back in, although the press conference and some of Arteta's words around Partey training in and out this week, which we'll delve into in a bit with James, makes me worry about whether his intentions are not to go with that partnership. And obviously, before the big one against Tottenham, I'd like to actually see what Partey and Lokonga are about. But yeah, I'm intrigued about the game.
So would you start Partey and Lokonga for the North London derby? Because let's not forget, Xhaka will be back for that game.
You look at who you're asking. Would I start Partey? The man wants to draw me out and
Yeah,
start
he
making me
does.
flip.
I'm just
Cecil.
listen. He's available. People will want him
Yeah,
back in
that's
there. You know,
also
the
in the
physicality
headlines.
of Xhaka and Partey together. They might want to see him in the middle.
Listen, Burnley game will say a lot. If Partey and Lokonga start and we make easy work of Burnley, which we should do
Yeah, facts.
if we have any ambitions to finish in the top 6. If we do that, then I think the Tottenham game's a given. You have to start both of them. But obviously, if we go into Burnley, Lokonga and Partey starting, and we fail to live up to expectation, maybe we drop points, maybe we don't get the performance we want, then me personally, I'd still go with them because one game doesn't say it all. But I know Arteta's thoughts and feelings would probably be, let me bring Xhaka back in for a bit more security. What are you thinking, James?
Right.
This Burnley game is going to tell us a lot about whether some of those good individual performances we saw against Norwich were kind of one-offs and everyone was just fueling off the energy of the crowd, and whether it was just something new and fresh. And we've seen a lot of players have good debuts and ultimately not. Klasinacz's debut for Arsenal was unbelievable.
Yeah, I remember.
Chelsea Community Shield, who's a rock in a back 3, scored the equaliser, we won the Community Shield. So sometimes you can feed off the energy and stuff. So I'm interested to see whether, Tomiyasu, who was praised for his winning of aerial duels against Norwich. If you win him against Burnley, then I'm impressed. Ben White, he's got something to prove after. I'd like to think he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder after the way people spoke about him after Brentford.
Yep.
One game.
Yeah.
Against a 6'2" striker in Tony, who's renowned for being good in the air, and they wrote him off immediately. So I'm interested to see whether the good things we saw from Norwich are going to be replicated now in a tougher game at Turf Moor with a crowd that will be. Listen, this is. I think it was Rory Jennings who described Arsenal as kind of like the perfect scalp right now, because we're still a big enough club that it's like, wow, you beat Arsenal, but actually we're not in a good place. That really you wouldn't be surprised if we lost to Burnley or Brentford.
Yeah.
So it's about Arsenal kind of rising to that now.
And you mentioned the change in difficulty, let's say, in comparison to Norwich. Even though we're all there and thereabouts, near the bottom three, I think Burnley's a much tougher game than Norwich. And when you add the away factor to it, massive. Well, let's talk about Burnley a bit before we delve into Arsenal a bit more.
Do you know what? I don't know if Burnley fans will watch this. I imagine some will. And I feel bad. I don't like just always slapping on the old stereotype of they're going to go 4-4-2, they're going to lump it long, they're going to be physical. I think to survive in the Premier League as long as they have done, and then to come up, go down and come back up like they did all under Dyche, you've got to have something about you in terms of, you know, a bit of quality, ability to play a little bit, and they're a more complete team than people give them credit for. And people also say, yeah, look what Sean Dyche is doing with no resources. Well, that's definitely true to a degree, but Tarkowski's a good player. I like Tarkowski. I like Ben Mee. I like Dwight McNeil. I like Chris Wood. Like, I think there's actually some talented players.
There is.
Yeah.
He's been a good fullback for them.
Nick Pope.
Yeah.
So, you know, there've been some...
Charlie Taylor, I believe, is another one. Taylor's another fullback for them.
Yeah, so they do have...
I know this from fantasy football people. They've got me some points over the years.
So for sure, they've got some quality players, and Sean Dyche is absolutely... I think I described it on Straight Out of Colney. I described it as... Are there many managers that get more out of what they've got than Sean Dyche?
I think Sean Dyche's a good manager. I think he doesn't get enough credit.
If you're talking about resources, money spent, and player quality, and then what they achieve with what they've got, I think that maybe Klopp's the only one. And I know Liverpool have some quality players, but he gets them to another level. I'm talking... Dyche does a lot, you know, and he's just been given a new 4-year deal, and Arteta was quick to congratulate him. We'll talk about the press conference in a bit. But just having a look at some of Burnley's last results. They lost at Brighton. They lost at home to Brighton. That was the interesting thing. They lost 2-0 at Liverpool. They drew 1-1 with Leeds at Turf Moor, and their 3-1 defeat at Everton, which obviously was on the Monday night. They went 1-0 up, and actually when you look at some of the goals they conceded, one was a good ball into the box and a header that was it Keane? I think Michael Keane scored.
Keane.
And you're thinking that's bread and butter for Burnley. So they've not started that well, but I don't think Burnley fans will be worrying about that because they have these lulls in the season. That's the reason they finished 7th once. But that's the reason generally they don't always get into the top 10 because they have bad patches, but they kind of always do enough.
I think they'll be quite confident going into this game, the Burnley fans. If you look at, I watched a few of some of those games that you just mentioned there, and if you go on the highlights of their games that they've played so far, their goals have all come from possession-based football of crosses into the box or long balls. They're not a long ball team in the sense of they play over the top, someone runs in behind. They're a long ball team they'll cross in
target
and they'll hit the target man, they'll get a goal, there'll be a corner, goes in, scrambles around, someone scores it. That's at the end of the day, that's a tactic at the end of the day. They do it really well, and I think against Arsenal, with what you just said about Ivan Toney bullying Ben White, I think they're going to feel confident saying we can probably nick something here.
I think I want to elaborate on what you said about Sean Dyche. I think Sean Dyche is a quality manager that doesn't really get his flowers.
Yes, I agree.
I don't put him up there with the elite managers, but when you look at some managers like Eddie Howe and Graham Potter, who over the years have got an awful lot of praise for a style of football that hasn't really... Well, with Bournemouth, they've gone down. With Brighton, they've teetered on the edge. Whereas Burnley, yes, they've been in and around the relegation battles before, but they've also finished top 10 with Sean Dyche. So.
I think 7th. I think they finished 7th the year we finished 6th under Wenger, I think. You know,
good times.
Yeah, the good old days, eh? You know, he's done a tremendous job, and I expect a tough game, and they all buy in. That's the thing, they all buy into what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And you know, this kind of long ball and target man, everything, it might not be the prettiest sometimes, but it's exciting to a degree. It's difficult to deal with. Sometimes I wish we got into the last 20 minutes of games and whacked on a Chris Wood. Like, I've always been a believer you've got to have another way. And I think sometimes you see City in the Champions League final. They got to the Champions League final, they're clearly a great side, but wouldn't they have loved just a target man? A bully up front.
But even us, listen, you know, when it was a choice out of Lacazette and Giroud, at the time I was very adamant Giroud needs to go. But I think in hindsight I was very wrong with that decision. I think I would have preferred a backup like Giroud to Oba, so you can change it up a bit. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. And I'm going to the game Saturday against Burnley, and like, I know when they get a corner or they get a long throw, I'm going to be like, oh no, I'm going to be fearful. Like, that's
The crowd will get into it.
Yeah, and Burnley fans, they'll be ready, they'll be loving, they'll be ready, like, here we go, we know what's coming. I want that. When we have a corner or something, right. I'm going to go get some food.
I think it was Peter Crouch who said on his podcast, he was like, why is it that with English fans, when they get a corner, it's a corner, like apparently like 5% of...
Yeah, we barely get goals, yeah, it's true.
So like you get a corner, like, come on!
Now's the time.
Little rumble, everyone's like, oh!
And how will we turf more? Any free kick, any throw, any...
Let's get it.
So
what are we saying about key battle?
Key battles for this week. Now, Chris Wood, obviously. But it's Chris Wood and the whole back line. And that's no disrespect. That's no disrespect to the Arsenal back line.
This is a man who can make decisions.
The whole back
against
line.
Just the whole team, really.
The whole back line.
Key battles, Burnley versus Arsenal. I think that's going to be crucial.
It's a big battle, that one.
Yeah.
You mean the centre-backs, though?
Yeah, the centre-backs. It's the centre-backs.
Maybe full-back if they get caught, like Chambers has done against Gundogan and stuff like that, when you might need to just edge into the back of them a bit.
Exactly. It's more the cross into the box, and it's going to be a key battle to see how they're going to deal with those long balls and those crosses. And I'm going to be basically keeping an eye on, well, Ben White definitely, because we still got to keep an eye on and see how he's going to deal with that. It's a different test. And then Gabriel, who I've been very, very happy with how he's come in his last performance. I've been very pleased with what I've seen from him, especially last season as well. I expect a lot from this season to take lead of that centre-back. So if he starts alongside Ben White, it's a test that I want to see him win, really. I want to see him win on Saturday. It will definitely be a good test. And I'm going to quickly move on to a new little formula, a new little thing that we've added.
Just on that.
Oh, go on.
I want Ben White to be... I've saw from Rob Holding recently, and this is the back end of last season and the start of this season, is when he's played, he's had a tough guy bravado about him.
Holding?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I've seen off the ball sometimes, and sometimes situations where he'll push and, act like he's that type of a defender, where there's a change in approach from him. Now with Ben White, he's fresh. Rob Holding, I see a change of approach from him. Maybe he's realised what he's lacked in, but in my opinion, it's too late to change to that type of defender. You're already tarnished in terms of your reputation. It's hard to then be a tough guy defender when you've made so many silly errors over the time. With Ben White, I want him to go into this game how Tomiyasu went into Norwich, especially that first half. Tomiyasu, I don't worry about his heading ability already. I might be wrong for that, I might be naive, it's only one game. But the way he approached heading the ball against Norwich, not the fact he won 5 out of 5 duels, the way he approached it, he was very physical with it, he didn't mind, jumping with big players, he would just get it done. That's how I want Ben White to go in against Chris Wood. I think, that's what's needed.
Okay. So you want to go head for head then? Just physical?
Over the year, look, Dini, what's he said about us? Lack of cojones.
Yeah, it's true.
Part of that lack of cojones is a soft underbelly, a soft centre. And I think our defensive unit over the last 10, 15 years has been a part of that.
Yeah.
Koscielny and Mertesacker, although technically quite brilliant, on that side of the game in terms of being that bully, being that tough guy, being a defender that a striker doesn't want to come up against. We've lacked that. Now I want to see Ben White and Gabriel.
A little bit of that, but I think the other thing is, if you sign Ben White because he's great on the ball. So there was a clip that went round of we were 1-0 up and Norwich were really chasing us and pressing us, and Ben White just pinged one into Pepe's feet perfectly. That's why he's been signed, because there was that quote of Arteta's that went round. He said, when you chase Liverpool down, you're chasing, and then Van Dijk pings one over the top. It's almost like he's like, we need that in our team. You brought Ben White to do that, fine. But then build a team or build a plan that is going to accept that Ben White might not be the best in the air. I say not be the best because to be a centre back, you've got to be good in the air. But Chris Wood might be better. Ivan Toney was better on the day. So build a system in which, okay, Wood's going to win that header, but Gabriel's going to sweep up. Or Partey's going to be there to get the rebound, whatever. Build something that deals with everything. Or Ben White, find a way of playing him offside. You do something to match to your strengths.
I agree with you there. But again, it doesn't come down to winning the header. Chris Wood might win the header, but for me, Ben White, make sure you're there. Against Brentford, and a lot of times when it comes into Toney, he avoided even jumping up. He allowed Toney to, win the first ball, bring it down, or head it on. I don't want that. Even though we might not say you can beat Chris Wood 9 times out of 10 for a header, I still want to see you do that. It doesn't mean don't do it. Still put yourself there, still cause problems. What was you going to say, Seth?
No, I was going to say, do you believe Ben White has that aggression in that you want to see?
I don't know much about him.
I don't know.
So I'm learning on the job.
Yeah,
like Mikel Arteta.
Fair.
So it is what it is.
It is what it is. Quick, I was going to move on to the new section that I've added to this. Not to this actually. It's for the build-up for mine and James' show on match day. But obviously, I'm not going to be there tomorrow for the
Which
build-up.
means you can expect stupid intro music.
So you're expecting some stupid intro music and some flashy lights. But it's called
Flashy lights.
It's called Spotlight On. So we're going to be we're looking at a player from our team, so from the Arsenal side, and
What's it called?
Spotlight
Yeah.
On. What?
Okay. I was just Spotlight.
Oh,
Sure.
Spotlight On. Yeah, Spotlight. Okay. Spotlight On. So I'll be looking at a player within the Arsenal
Rate
side.
the name in the comments section.
I'll be looking at a player from the Arsenal side, just seeing who I'm going to have my focus on from the Arsenal side, the player that I'm going to be looking at throughout the game. So the Spotlight On for today, it will be on the build-up weeks going forward, but for today, for the warm-up, will be Aaron Ramsdale for me, 100%, because of his performance last week as well. I think he had a really good performance. I was wrong. I wanted Leno in my 11. I did put him in my 11 when we did warm-up last time, but you guys were right. If you paid that much, you paid the most we paid for a goalkeeper, you've got to put him in for the starting spot. And I think you're right in that. And since seeing him, I think there's a lot of pressure on him to do well against Burnley, because if he does do well, who starts in the North London derby? Do you play Leno? There's word that Leno's going to be back in for the North London derby. I think that's unfair if Aaron Ramsdale has a really good game. That's why the spotlight for me is on him this Saturday. I don't know about your guys' thoughts on that. Would you play?
Ramsdale's definitely the guy in the spotlight this weekend for me. Well, and Arteta.
It's Arteta every week, but Ramsdale, do you agree? If he has a good game,
Shall I be honest with you? The spotlight's probably on Pepe or Oba for me, because I can't put the spotlight on a player that I'm not putting pressure on none of our new signings. I'm dubious about a few of them, but I'm not going to apply pressure, put them under the spotlight, and immediately ask for an immediate, impact.
Impact, yeah.
Arsenal are in a rough place, and we've been in a rough place for a long time.
Yeah.
So the true level of some of these players we might not see yet.
True.
Whereas with Pepe and Oba, they've been part of the last couple of years. They've been part of us falling from top 6 to 8th and so on. So for me, the spotlight will be on either or both if they play.
Yeah.
I look around the team. I'm happy with the back line that we had against Norwich. I'm happy with Ramsdale in goal, or Leno. More Ramsdale because it makes sense. I'm happy with Partey, Lokonga, even Maitland-Niles in the middle. It is what it is. Saka, Odegaard, Emile Smith-Rowe. I can't put the spotlight on them. It has to be someone that's got experience in the side.
The spotlight has been on Aubameyang and Pepe for me in the
we
past
lack
couple of
leadership
weeks.
in the past,
and the experienced players have not been rising to the occasion.
Yeah.
But for me, I think the reason why the spotlight is on Aaron Ramsdale for me is because of the news that came out this week about Arteta saying, well, when Leno's back, he'll be back for the North London derby. I don't think that's fair, especially if Aaron Ramsdale has a good game. I don't think it's right for him.
He said, I don't even know who's starting against Burnley, let alone North London derby. It is what it is. But he did also say against Norwich he had to make a change, and that's why Ramsdale come in, which is quite weird. Because what change was you looking to make then? If what was you looking to bring in?
Yeah, goalkeeper change.
That's
is
exactly
a big
what I was
change.
thinking on straight call, and I thought, what an interesting way to put it. We need to make a change.
It's not like he had a left winger for a striker.
Yeah. It's like what was he wondering that? What did he see that forced his hand to put Ramsdale in? And I wonder whether it was just a general, I need something fresh and new, and I need something that starts to look like my project, basically. And whether maybe he really wanted a few more months to get into that. Maybe he's feeling he's got to do it now. But that was pretty much the main bit from the press conference, to be honest. And obviously he was praising Sean Dyche and everything.
Regarding team news, anything there?
Yeah, so as you will see coming up on your screen right now, Xhaka is suspended still. He's got 2.
For flip's sake, man. These red cards and 3 game bans, man. Football's had it. What are we going to do?
I don't know.
What are we going to do?
So excited. No, of all games, we needed Xhaka. It would have
Turkey's starting 11 is going to have a hole in midfield. You'd be like, I don't know what to do.
There's a hole without Xhaka, mate, so I might as well leave it empty.
He has a great record against Burnley as well, so we need him. But he's out.
That was sarcastic.
He's out.
red card. No,
because there's a graphic over it, so they're probably thinking, what the fuck's happened to Turkish? Is he all right?
You're right.
I'm blessed, people. I'm good.
He's out. He's suspended still. He's back for the North London derby, so he is suspended.
Is that it?
That's it. I think. And Partey as well.
El Neni was meant to be out for a few weeks.
Yeah, he's back.
Arteta, he said Jack was suspended. He said everyone should be fine.
What, to be funny, I read that. He says,
I don't know what.
El Neni back in training last week, and he said Partey's been in and out this week.
So they're assessing Partey. He said.
Yeah.
But he said he might be
Partey
available.
will start, I think. I think Partey
I
will
hope so.
start.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I
The
don't-
comments worried me, but
Yeah,
because
look-
I think if you've played at the back end of the game, how are we now saying you're in and out of training? If you're in and out of training, surely you shouldn't have played in that game.
Yeah, would you worry about Lokonga?
But I don't know what's going on.
Would you worry about Lokonga and Maitland-Niles starting in that midfield against Burnley?
Shouldn't do, because it's not like they got a midfield that. Listen, they're going to try bypass midfield.
True.
You know, they're going to try target man,
Yeah, and clip it
balls
over, yeah.
into him as much as possible. So I don't think I'm worried about Maitland-Niles and Lokonga, but I think Partey is, is a different beast to them two. So.
There's something about Partey. He's played at the highest level. He's played for Diego Simeone. He's played. There's something about him. You know how we're all sitting there, Burnley's a tough game, and you know some players will be feeling that. I don't have a problem with players feeling that way.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine Partey giving a.
Yeah.
He's Burnley, all right. Like, I'm not saying you go and play well, but I'm just saying whether he plays well or not, whether Burnley find a way to stop him, that it won't be in his mind.
No, it's just getting the job done
this
for him.
This is a tough physical game at Burnley. He won't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
He'll just be.
I
That's
think
kind of why I want him in there.
He needs the match fitness regardless. He needs to play because he needs to get a run of games so he doesn't get
100%.
injured. He's good.
There's that
He's
as well.
missing so many minutes. He needs
Play
to get on
him.
the pitch.
Don't
yeah.
play against Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And then you're ready for the
Yeah.
next
Right.
derby.
Completely agree.
Wasn't this the same sort of situation last season? Like he got injured. He got injured just before the North
He had
London.
like 3 injuries.
Well, he
last
was coming
season.
back,
He had 3
yeah.
injuries last season, but
It was around the North London
Arteta
derby time.
started to manage him better at the end than he did the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prediction time?
Yeah, prediction and 11s.
Oh,
We've got to
11s.
run through our
I nearly forgot
11s.
about that.
Yeah.
To be honest, with my 11, I might just run through it.
Yeah,
because
I'll do
it's,
mine
it's the
as
same
well.
as Norwich plus Partey. So it's Ramsdale in goal, Tomiyasu right back, Tierney left back, White and Gabriel partners in the middle, Partey and Lokonga in the middle of the park with Odegaard in front. Who was it on the weekend? Pepe and Saka, right?
Yeah.
And Ober up top.
Yeah.
I'd probably take out Pepe for Emil Smith-Rowe, if I'm honest.
Interesting.
I was impressed with Pepe against Norwich in some parts in terms of his aggression on the ball.
Yeah.
He was very, direct, but again, his end product was lacking. So, in all honesty, it was an average performance for me.
Interesting.
But yeah, that other change I make. Partey in for Maitland-Niles and Emil Smith-Rowe in for Pepe. And obviously Saka goes to the right, Emil on the left, and Ober up top.
All right, go on, Tess.
Okay, quickly. Same Ramsdale in goal. Same back four as you. Same partners in the midfield as well. Odegaard same in the 10. I'd put Pepe in. On the left.
Wow,
Yeah, I
hater
know.
Cecil.
Crazy, right?
Wow,
Pepe on the left, and then Saka on the right, and then Aubameyang up top.
You're switching their wings. Okay.
Yeah. I want Pepe on the left. I think it works. Only reason why it's Saka with Tomiyasu gives me more confidence than Pepe with Tomiyasu. I think that's too new, and Pepe can be at times not got great enough end product and not consistent enough. I don't think he would, but benefit well with Tomiyasu. So Saka can go there, and then I think Kieran Tierney and Pepe they can link up well. And Aubameyang. Don't need to say too
Up
much.
top, yeah?
I don't need to say.
Okay.
I'm not going to say too much.
Of course you can't. You was with him the other day, man. That's what it is.
Go on, Juice.
Really, is he your favourite player now?
I don't want to say too
Back
much.
into school.
Listen, that's why it's a
You
couple.
thought he was great against Norwich,
Sign
didn't
some
you?
NDAs. I can say too much.
okay,
You lot will
yeah,
see it in due time.
I go for the same goalkeeper and back four. I go for Partey Lokonga. Then my change is Pepe keeps his place on the right. Odegaard is the 10. Smith-Rowe on the left. And Aubameyang up front. So I'm
Dropping Saka.
I'm dropping.
No, I
Saka.
get it. He I get it. He hasn't had-
Saka's a fighter. He's got that good like low centre of gravity, upper body strength. Like it's not that I don't think he can handle Burnley. It's not that. But he wasn't great against Norwich, although key for the goal. I completely acknowledge that. There's something about Smith-Rowe. I think Smith-Rowe is a bit more difficult to stop than people think. Like on the ball, he's strong. He's actually got a bit of power behind him. I like the idea of Pepe on the right. I think Pepe has looked a bit hungrier this season than perhaps people give him credit for. I think in the Brentford game, I thought he looked the only one who might score, even though no one really played well. And I thought in the Norwich game again, he was erratic at times and wasteful at times, but still looked the only one who might do something out of nothing. And I think it might just get a little bit tight at times against Burnley, a little bit. You know when a game's going out for a lot of fouls, throw-ins, corners, all that. And you might just want someone to get their foot on the ball and just put it in the back of the net. And I think Pepe is kind of our most likely to do that. And listen, I'm not opposed to Lacazette starting ahead of Aubameyang either. We talked about this on Forever Arsenal, but from a quality perspective and level of performance I've seen the last year, I'm indifferent. And Lacazette, I think, would be a good battle for Tarkowski and me. But Aubameyang is, I'd start Aubameyang.
Yeah, quickly, just on the Smith Rowe thing, what you're speaking about him there, I know it's not going to change your mind, but I can't talk too much, but I was with someone that was with Saka, and he had a little training session, and he is lightning. Like, I didn't realise how quick.
Who,
like,
Smith Rowe?
No, Saka is lightning. Like, off the mark, they were telling him to do 60%, 60%, don't go 100%. And still, he was like, off the mark, quicker than everyone. I just didn't. I was going to let you know that I didn't know how fast he was.
But kind of weirdly, one of the reasons why I wouldn't play him is that the space isn't. I always say this forever. I keep making this assumption that Turf Moor's a small pitch.
Yeah.
It always feels small. At least Burnley aren't a team that, whether it's big or small,
make it that.
Yeah, they don't afford you a lot of space in behind, and I don't know if Saka is the player that we're going to get the best out of it, and so Smith Rowe comes in for that.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
We round up with predictions now.
I said on forever, so I'll just say it now. I said 0-0, and I'm sorry to be. I just think it's going to be tricky, but yeah, I hope we can win. We can.
Yeah, you go. I'm intrigued too.
On Forever Arsenal, I went 1-1. Yeah, so that's my head. But on this show, I'm going to go with my heart and say 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay, we might nick it.
My head's telling me 1-1 as well, or even 0-0. It's because I'm going up there. It's such a long
Stop
journey.
bringing these negative guys on this show, man. What's going on, man? Robbie, find some positive
No,
people,
wait, I
for God's
haven't
sake.
finished yet. I haven't finished. I'm going up there, so I want to see a 3-0 Arsenal. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's how
It's
it
gonna be
works.
honest. It's not going to work like that.
What's your
leaning
Arsenal
in on the
prediction?
1-1.
Oh, is Cecil going? Yeah, he's going. Oh, they're going to win.
They're going to win 3-0. No, 1-1. But hope, guys, I'm going up there. Yeah, please make it an entertaining game.
We've got a 0-0, a 1-1 and a 2-1.
Yeah.
Kind of tells us where we are, really. It's going to be a tough one. People, hope you guys have enjoyed the warm-up for the Burnley game. Let us know your predictions in the comments below, thoughts, lineups, all of that. And let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. Love for the love, people. Hit the like button before we go. Peace.